Nikki, I think you might.
Welcome, January 13th, 2026. Here we are in the Jernigan Building, Town Council Meeting 2, second meeting of the year here in Selma, North Carolina. We have got a hefty one here today. I believe I did hear a plan to limit legislative hearings from now on our agendas. Let's see. But with that being said, there's a lot of business to take care of in the town of Selma, so it is all right. Of course, to start our meetings, we always have some special guests with us. We do always like to start our meetings out with an invocation. We've got Pastor Daniel Barajas, Iglesia Batista de Selma here with us today. Come on up to the podium. How are you, sir? Pastor Daniel, I serve as the pastor of Iglesia Batista de Selma since its establishment 10 years ago. 10 years, yes, sir. And has been a proud resident of the town of Selma for more than 31 years. Yes, sir. Demonstrating a long-standing commitment to faith, community, and service. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we get to your invitation? No, sir. Everybody, please stand.
Let's bow our heads, close our eyes. Dear Heavenly and Gracious Father, we thank you this evening for a special day where we gather to do your will. And we thank you for the leadership. We thank you for this town trying to help our community. And not only the community, but people, families. We ask you to give wisdom to the leadership of this town, to the people who have joined this leadership, and also we ask you to bless them, help them, and do everything they need to do, and help them with your Holy Spirit. And we ask you all this in the precious name of Jesus Christ, our Savior. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we do have another special guest with us here today. Malachi Green, you in the building? There he is. Come on. Malachi Green, Selma Middle School student, 14-year-old 8th grader. He's actively involved. Come on, Center stage. Actively involved in both academics and athletics. He's a member of AVID and the National Junior Honor Society. Plays both football and baseball. Outside of school, Malachi enjoys playing video games, favors the color blue, that's a good shade right there, and aspires to become an entrepreneur. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the crowd? You ready to rock? All right, let's turn and face the plane right here, and we're going to follow your lead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, that brings us into looking at our agenda. I think we've got quite a bit of shuffling to do here today. I do know of additions and subtractions that staff has asked for, and a few things that I believe the council's already said wants to be shuffled as well. So let's start off with what we are removing. So under 5B, we're going to be striking the position control update and saving that for another day. Under 8C, we're going to remove that major and minor subdivisions. In fact, I have an idea that we're going to have a little more discussion about that as far as part of our meeting, but we aren't ready to really put our heads around that conversation right now. We're going to take out the business item 9B, Johnson Community College Basic Law Enforcement Training Contract. they have actually found a larger space to work with than the one that Selma was providing them, so that's actually a wonderful thing. We're going to take off this resolution authorizing library book surplus donation policy. And we're actually going to take that from 9E and we'll move it up to consent, and we'll talk about the additions there in just a moment. Is there anything else that I've missed taking off? See anything? All right, so adding back in. We're going to add to 5B the appointment of our interim town manager, and I'm going to make the suggestion that we go ahead and say Philip McDaniel, appointment interim town manager as 5B. 5C, we're going to be adding a budget amendment number 6, which is a budget amendment to move some insurance money and some miscellaneous revenue for gear for police and fire. And then we're going to add that 5D, which is that library surplus and donation policy.
E.
E?
Not the E. E, Echo.
We replace B.
Okay, gotcha.
So we should be on D. D. Okay, very good. Very good, very good. Also, with that, we do have an addition of what will now become, it's like 9D. 9D will be the addition of a plat approval related to pump number 16 and an old water tower area on the Raylene Jessup property. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we'll be adding in that. Is there any other item that needs to be added to this agenda? Get everything covered? With that, do I have a motion to approve the agenda with those amendments?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And that brings us to our consent agenda. We do have the police department surplus of some stuff from the police department. We do have the appointment of our interim town manager, Philip Daniel. We do have budget amendment number 6 and that library surplus and donation policy as 5D. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
We've got those items, and that brings us into open forum citizens requests. And we do have a few folks that have signed up, and we've got first on the list, we've got Mr. Thomas Rose. If you would come on up and just give us your name and address for the record, and then 3 minutes to tell us what you want us to know.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Town Council. My name is Thomas Rose. I'm a resident at 5159 Buffalo Road. Thank you for the opportunity to speak my concerns regarding the proposed 57 home subdivision known as Hilton or Holton Ridge off of Buffalo Road that joins News River, joins Wolf Creek, and several other little dry streams. What I like to talk about is public safety, environmental risk, infrastructure limitations, and long-term financial impacts on the town of Selma. I respectfully urge the council to limit, if possible, number of homes from 57 and ideally somewhere between the 20 and 30 house range. The corridor is already on at or near its functional capacity, which is Buffalo Road. Adding 57 new homes will generate 500 to 600 additional vehicle trips per day, according to typical NCDOT trip generation modes. Without turn lanes, shoulder improvements, or signalization, the increase in traffic creates substantial risk of rear-end collisions, emergency vehicle delays, and school bus conflicts. The town of Selma has a duty to ensure that rezoning and subdivisions do not outpace the roadway ability to safely handle traffic, especially where the widening is not planned or funded. Septic tank density in soil. The Neuse River Basin is one of the most regulated watersheds in the state due to the nutrient sensitivity. It starts out in Person County, known as Turtle Creek. Turtle Creek turns into Flat River. Flat River joins the Eno. At the Eno and Flat River is the Neuse River.
Mr. Rose, you got about 30 seconds.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Nutrients is a sensitive subject according to the Environmental Services of North Carolina and us. We get our drinking water from there. And I like for it to be as clean as possible. So would the folks from New York City and to Daytona Beach, who stop here because we're the halfway mark. Environment, we're near a floodplain. That floodplain is a cleansing area.
Time, Mr. Rose.
Okay,
Thank
sorry.
you.
Thank
No,
you.
that's quite all right. That's quite all right. But I'll just take a moment to just respond on a couple of points there.
Sure.
That development is not actually going to be in the town of Selma. That is a development that'll still be in county land.
Okay.
And then with that, we only have zoning rights over that area. And since the land is already currently zoned, we only get to say whether or not it fits in with the current zoning. We don't get to make too many decisions beyond whether or not the engineering, road, that type of thing happens. NCDOT will look at that because Buffalo Road is NCDOT concern.
Right.
NCDOT does plan on making significant upgrades on either in going toward Flowers and toward,
Old times.
that's right, the old terminal over near 4270. There's a lot of work that'll be done, but a lot of that consideration is out of our hands as far as what we can consider part of our quasi-judicial hearings related to those zoning cases. But I do understand your concerns, and I think all of our council has said very clearly, we would like to discuss with the state legislature about how we make moves in our state that help us grow more wisely, considering concerns like this and the concerns of a traditionally rural county. So we do appreciate those things.
And I thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you very much. All right, and we've got Mr. Zachary Rabble next on the list. I'm sorry, Rabel, I apologize.
Right, well, it's all good. I'm here on just to talk about quality over quantity.
If you would, name and address for the record.
Oh, I'm in Kinley, 271 Scott Road, Kinley, North Carolina. I have a business here in Selma.
Yes, sir.
It's quality over quantity. Selma has about 7,000 people in it. With that population, we typically aim for a diverse business mix to ensure economic hold on one second, sorry. To ensure economic resilience, and high quality of life. Allowing too many of the exact same type of businesses on a single street or small downtown can lead to several negative outcomes. Increased economic vulnerability, relying heavily on one industry or business type, makes the entire local economy susceptible to market downturns in that specific sector. Reduce essential services. Oversaturation of one business type often leaves gaps in necessary services like grocery stores, pharmacies, or medical offices, or parking, forcing residents to travel elsewhere for daily needs. Loss of community identity, a lack of variety can diminish the unique character of a town's main street, making it feel less like a destination and more like a generic strip. Lower economic multiplier effect. Diverse, independent local businesses typically keep more money circulating within the local community than a cluster of similar stores. I'm bringing this up because we're seeing a cluster of similar stores, and I'm hearing free market, and I understand free market. When I brought my business down here, I was told by HTR that we didn't want any more of the what do we call them? Antique shops. So the free market and saying no antique shops, and then we're adding, I think we are up to 4 coffee shops now. We are developing clusters in our town. Fiscal strain from sprawl. If the town's core lacks variety, new development often occur on the outskirts, increasing the city's cost for extending roads, utilities, and emergency services. Diminished foot traffic. We are seeing that after 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock in the ghost town called Selma. While some clustering can draw specialized customers, a complete lack of variety may stop people from visiting the area of multiple purposes, ultimately reducing overall downtown activity.
Got about 30 seconds, Mr. Ray.
You have tools like comprehensive plans and zoning reform to encourage a balanced and resilient business environment. I would like to see them being used. Y'all have a vision. The vision had 3 words. Y'all had it planned out. The vision was vibrant growth and community. We're not very vibrant if we have the same businesses, multiple of the same businesses going on downtown within, 1,000 feet from each other. Growth, bring diversity for growth. We're not doing that. Community, we need to work together to bring people to Selma, period. That's all I want to say.
Thank you, Mr. Ray. Appreciate you. Ms. Kamitha Fullwood. Oh, Health Department Services, always a pleasure to see you. Name and address for the record, and certainly the Health Department Services address as well. Very much appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. My name is Kamitha Fullwood. I do work at the Johnston County Public Health Department located at 517 North Brightleaf Boulevard. I'm just here today to remind the citizens of Selma and everyone who lives here about our services that we offer. Our health department is right up the street, and I just want to make sure that you all have our updated services flyers. I have that available here for anyone who would like it. We also create a public health newsletter 11 months out of the year. We skip December. We also have chronic disease self-management classes that are free of charge for anyone who is suffering from one or more chronic diseases. We have a diabetes prevention program, so to prevent diabetes. That's a year-long program that offers many different free incentives, and I just want to make sure that everybody is aware of that, and you can refer to that program at any time. We have a Spanish language and English language nutrition program called Eating Smart, Moving More. So if anyone would like to join us, that program is coming up in February. There's also some programs such as Youth Mental Health First Aid, community resilience training that's going on locally in the community that is free of charge. We also have free hearing screenings that will be offered Wednesday, February the 14th. In addition, we're doing a free Narcan training in 4 Oaks. We would love to have everyone come out. Narcan is the reversal medication for those who are impacted by opioids. We also have childbirth classes coming up. We have a car seat checks for any parents or grandparents, aunt and uncles that have children in their car that need those car seat checks. We have a wonderful team of technicians that would be happy to provide that service free of charge. We also have a breastfeeding support group, and we also have flu and COVID vaccine available as well. So I just wanted to remind everyone here about the services that are offered at the health department. Please utilize us. Please use us as a resource. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're amazing as always. You've got like 2 seconds there. Wow. So just a quick note on Ms. Fullwood. When I first moved into the area early on, the first time I came across her was a presentation at Selma Elementary School. And then I'd go to other schools and other events, and I'd be like, oh, there's Kamitha again doing another one. There's Kamitha doing another one. On the ground doing the work to make sure our county, our community is healthy. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
We've got Miss Kim Fry. Miss Kim Fry, come on up, name and address for the record in 3 minutes. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Kim Fry, 111 Gardner Road, Selma. Also owner of Coffee on Rayford with my husband, Jim. I wanted to start off by saying good evening, Mayor and Town Council. Thank you for this opportunity to come before you. I'm actually going to read my statement because if I don't, I'll go off topic and that won't be good for anybody. So I wanted to start off by saying thank you to the Town of Selma employees, firefighters, and police officers for helping make Selma a wonderful and safe place to own a business. Firstly, to the town employees, thank you for all the hard, long hours that you put in keeping our lights on, water running, trash being picked up, setting up and tearing down stages and barricades for Rockin' on Rayford, Railroad Days, and other events that we have in the downtown area. Your hard work does not go unseen and is appreciated by all of us in the downtown area. To our firefighters, police officers, and their families, thank you for your sacrificial by putting your lives on the line for our families and for the businesses in the downtown Selma area and keeping us safe. Your duty to Selma, its residents, and business owners are all extremely appreciated, and I know I can sleep well at night after I lock those doors leaving Coffee on Rayford, knowing that my business is safe in your hands. To the council members and mayor, I want to say thank you for stepping up and saying yes to participating in our town government. I know I don't agree with everything that goes on in this town council and the things that you vote on, but I believe we all want to see Selma grow, be prosperous, and thrive in the decades to come. I challenge you in this new year to please be mindful of what comes across your desk. Please be diligently reading everything, ask questions, make informed decisions, and do not vote based off of someone else's views. Yes, you have a responsibility to our town to make wise, informed decisions based off of facts and not opinions. I don't have a vote here because my personal property lives outside of the ETJ, so I am relying on you guys to make the right decisions for our town. In the coming year, as a thriving coffee shop business owner who is here to stay for decades to come, I would like to see more collaboration between the town government, local business owners, and community organizations. What does that look like? It looks like town leadership, business owners, and community organizations like Activate Selma, Lions Club, some of the other ones that we have tons of them in town, coming together and
Got
partnering
about 20 seconds.
to talk about how we can make Selma even better. I believe that a thriving community does not thrive in a vacuum chamber of only the government doing its part or only businesses doing their part. It thrives when we come together as businesses, government, and community. This makes everyone feel involved and like they have a stake in our town. This isn't a one-man or one-woman show. This is a community, and we all want Selma to succeed. My husband and I are dedicated to the town of Selma. Tonight, I am volunteering my husband, Jim, and myself to begin collaboration with the town, businesses in Selma, and community leaders by the end of the first quarter. The ball's in your court.
Thank you, Ms. Fry.
Are you willing to work with us to make this town even better than it already is?
If you'd like, we can actually have maybe even a work session to discuss what you might be interested in. So let's actually arrange something outside of an open forum, because those are limited, and discuss what you might be interested in. Wonderful, wonderful. You're welcome. All right. Have anybody else for open forum citizens requests? Oh, yeah. Commissioner Ted Godwin, of course.
Lisa from the Health Department. I'm Ted Godwin, 395 Hawkins Road, Selma. Mayor, council. I just wanted to, the Health Department representative talked about their services. And one service we need badly in this county is a mental health urgent care facility. And our board and I'm not on the Alliance board now, but I have been. And they're working with our folks in the mental health department to identify a site and put that in place. It's taken much longer than it should have, but we're working on that. So I want everybody to know that we're working on that. Hopefully soon we'll get that much needed urgent care for mental health.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Commissioner Godwin,
Commissioner, I think there's a question for you from Councilman Watts.
will that include any type of addiction recovery, or treatment center?
Yes, I think it will include all of that. I'm not sure of the, physical logistics, beds, that type of thing.
Right,
But, we have a need, we've expanded that capability to some extent, but it's never gonna be enough. But
right.
this urgent care is really needed for
If-
off hours, and we wanna try to keep those folks where they need to be and not in the emergency room at the hospital.
Yeah, I don't think the general public is aware that that's a lot of times where they wind up, and it's a problem, yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, that'll move us into discussions and presentations. Patrol routes, and that's a discussion concerning our police patrol routes. Do we have any information that we wanted to add beyond what we have in hand? I know a lot of that information is particularly sensitive. So do we want to add any information here, Major Bass?
thing I would say is that this was at the request of our former town manager, Alexis Carter. She actually asked us to add policies in here. And what we done is we went through our organization and we added these duties that you see to the sergeants, the corporals, and the patrol officers. So you guys all have copies of that.
Council, do we have any questions, statements? I would like to say that particularly hearing from citizens regularly, we do want to see tickets being given to folks. I once heard an interesting conversation about the discretion of giving tickets. Say if you had somebody who was 80 and happened to run a stop sign and the officer used their discretion to maybe not give a ticket on that particular instance. I have a hard time with that because we're getting to a point now where we're picking and choosing versus making sure that we remind everybody in Selma that running stop signs is acceptable. Speeding is not acceptable. The JOCO squat on the back of your truck is not acceptable. We really do want, we know about that. We really do want our laws in this community to particularly when it comes to moving violations. And if I'm missing something here, please, council, let me know. Particularly when it comes to moving violations, to be strictly enforced. I give everybody the example of Beulahville. You're traveling down to the beach, you happen to go through Beulahville if you're going down 24, and you don't speed through the town of Beulahville. Best story I ever heard was one of my father's friends speeding into Beulahville. Cop comes out of nowhere, he never saw him, gave him a ticket. He hops back in the car, he is perturbed, the cop turns around and heads the opposite direction, so he guns it out of Beulahville. And before he gets out of Beulahville, a different cop gives him a ticket. I want that feeling in the town of Selma for all of us, because I know I've got kids that play around in the front yard as cars go too quickly down Anderson Street. I know of a stop sign on the corner of Walnut and Elizabeth that gets run way too much. I know of a stop sign over here by the post office that gets run way too much. And we want everybody to understand that not only can you get a ticket in the town of Selma, there's a high likelihood you will get a ticket in the town of Selma if you can't act right. Is that fair to say?
Oh, yeah, I could give 10 stories right now,
Yeah.
but I won't.
Yeah, it happens. But again, I do appreciate that in the past we have been forgiving because, quite frankly, we were a smaller population. We didn't have as much flying through our town. But now we're seeing a whole different population, a large population, come through our town on a regular basis. And I think it's time for us to tamp down seriously on those things here in 2026. Anything to add, Council?
Just one thing. Did we get a copy of his report?
We do have a copy.
Is it in our package?
We have it not in the packet, but it's in our
Separate.
separate.
In me, okay.
Yeah, yes, but it is very sensitive information about how they actually operate. So.
That's fine. I just couldn't find it. So
Yes.
I haven't seen it.
You want my copy, Mr. Oak?
Oh, thank you.
Hey, my man prepared. On it.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. That's okay.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Major, I will say this, though. It's true that we do hear from business owners. We hear from the folks in the new businesses in Eastfield and that large area that they feel surprisingly safe in the town of Selma. We really have an opportunity to show off and really have a boutique service that is second to none here in Selma, North Carolina. Thank you. All right, council rules and procedures. Dalton, did you want to walk us through this? You want me to walk us through this? Yeah, I'll walk us through it. We do have marked through copy that Dalton has prepared for us of council rules and procedures. We had mentioned that it was about time to update it as we regularly had moved some items around, particularly on our agenda. But with that, Dalton went ahead and took the time to really cross the T's and dot the I's for the smaller, more nuanced pieces of this procedure. So you do have a copy with Dalton's adjustments in there. Are there any questions about those adjustments that Dalton has made to the council rules and procedures? You do want to look through it carefully. Hopefully we don't have to do too much of this for a while.
Dalton, I would just like to say, I was looking through it today and being part of management and supervision in my prior jobs, seeing how you went through this, highlighted spots and brought up to date, I commend you on it. It was good. I know it's time consuming. And that's why I appreciate the idea that people take time to go over, cause even for myself, it would be like, man, and you just kind of skip some parts here and there. But I think of what you've done to this, okay?
Of course. Thank you.
Okay.
And then with that, there were a couple of items that I wanted to make some adjustments to as well. So I'll go through kind of starting from the top and work the way to the bottom here. Just a minor change. It references commissioners at the top of the code of ethics for the town council. Just change that to council members, if that's all right. We don't ever reference commissioners here as far as our body's concerned. Let's see. Organizational meeting, I think we kind of came across this in December. Change that to at the appropriate regular meeting in December, following a general election. Council members are to be elected, so that would be making that the appropriate regular meeting. So if we did happen to either council meeting 1 or meeting 2, we would just have the appropriate regular meeting to make sure that change happened as far as newly elected members is concerned. Now, in standing with our meeting convening rules, we've got the agenda here, and it's the town clerk shall prepare the agenda for the meeting. The mayor or any 2 elected town council members may direct the town clerk to place an item of business on the agenda. And that actually matches with our state legislative statute as far as 2 council members being able to convene a meeting or the mayor convening a meeting just the same. There's a paragraph at the bottom to adjust. Every effort should be made not to add an item to the agenda. Unfortunately, that never happens. So effort should be made to not add an item to the agenda, but it is often necessary at the rate that we're moving these days. And I think kind of the redundancy of the in summary paragraph, that's a short paragraph after that, we can scratch that paragraph completely. In summary, no recommendation for action or anything should come before council. I think that can be removed because we have that happening pretty regularly these days.
What page was that on?
That is, let's see if I got a page. I don't actually have pagination on mine. 14, oh, rock star. Is this in fact motion? That little short paragraph right here. And let's see, so order of business, this is an interesting one that I'm interested in testing out. The consent agenda, I believe we can move down to above the council members' report and recommendations. With that, what we can start doing is if we have items that we regularly are discussing as part of the agenda, we can just move them to the consent agenda instead of having to make multiple votes on things that we're all unanimous on. This is something we do as part of the Central Pines Regional Council. So it makes it so that Dalton has to do a little less recording of votes if we have a full consent agenda with votes of unanimous votes on that consent agenda. So that moves the consent agenda item down from after the approval of the agenda. It moves it to after our basic reports in any agenda, so that we have that option of moving items from the central agenda to the consent agenda. And then, let's see, I think that's about it for major changes. But what we'll do, Dalton, if you don't mind, if we get this cleaned up and then bring it back at a future meeting just to make sure that it's clean and we all are seeing the same thing, since we've gone through a lot of little scratch outs and markups. And then we can then be prepared to formally adopt it after it is cleaned up and we have all had a good chance to glance at it, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
Maybe something we can even do, and I'll mention this at the end of the meeting, we do have a budget retreat coming up. That's correct. So maybe we can be just prepared to add that to the agenda as well. Have a cleaned up version ready to go possibly for February. And do we see anything else in the markup and the changes that we'd like to address, adjust? I do like the clarity on the virtual meeting policy. Thank you.
I'd like to inject one, please.
Yes.
Open forum and citizens request. I think we need to change that 3 minutes. It's hard to get in what they want to tell us.
Change the 3 minutes for this open forum.
Yeah,
citizen
so they
request.
can have a little longer.
Okay, let's take a look at that as part of, before we get to the 21st and consider how we want to handle that. We do want to make sure that, of course, if we have 15 people piling here wanting to say something,
I understand.
we can dial that back and make sure we give everybody the same opportunity.
Right.
So let's take a look at that. We can start. Anything else? So we've got some marked changes to look at there. And then what we'll do is we'll anticipate actually having a finalized version. We'll put it online somewhere as a draft copy, and we'll anticipate adopting a finalized version by the end of the month, anticipating January 21st. January 21st. Okie dokie. So no action to take there right now. We'll move on to the budget calendar. Who wants to take that?
Thank you all. It is in your packet. Budget calendar for you December through the budget as the year. If you don't have any changes.
Let's see. There's and let me get to it. I'm not actually staring at it right now. There's a March meeting in there where it looks like where we had the times where we just had every department head trot in front of us to talk about their stuff. Often we find that we are in agreement with what is recommended from the town manager, and that might not be necessary. We can make that one a little more flexible. Really, like, yeah, that's not unless we have some real significant concerns about a department. We don't need to drag every department head into a room to tell us what we already know.
If you like to keep that on the calendar, you just take your lead on what y'all want to hear.
Make it flexible.
Instead of just everybody got to speak.
Absolutely. Give the staff some leeway, and staff, particularly with that day being there, if you know you do want to come and fuss at us about something, know that that's the day. Hey, we'll be prepared to do that, but keep that very flexible for everybody. Council, anything else with the budget calendar? Very cool. With that, do I have a motion to adopt the budget calendar with that minor amendment?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Got ourselves a budget calendar. All right, that brings us into public hearings and appeals. We've got a couple of them. Who wants to take away the first one?
So that is me. I have before you a few ordinance changes, most of them minor, so hopefully it won't take too long. This first one is the town council approval of an ordinance. Do you have something, Tom?
Yeah, but we'll go ahead and open the hearing, so
Okay,
we don't have
yeah.
to, we don't have to cycle back to it. So do I have a motion to open the public hearing related to, text amendment, chapter 17, article 5, standards and supplementary use regulations, motor vehicle repair and service?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Hearing's open. After you, sir.
Yes, so I am asking for town council approval of an ordinance amendment to Article 5, Section 17-549, motor vehicle repair and service. This is to clarify supplementary use regulations for motor vehicle sales is kind of sparse throughout a lot of the code, different parts of this. So a lot of this isn't new to the code. For instance, the landscaping or areas with asphalt and things of that nature are already in different ordinance parts like parking and landscaping, and there just wasn't a whole conglomerate for this use, which felt necessary to have.
And it looks to me you have taken the hodgepodge pieces throughout the UDO and moved them into one spot.
Yes, so some of it is copy, but also there was a unique circumstance in the next hearing that there was one that was just completely misplaced into, and that one's being moved into here as well.
That's
so.
central business? Yes, sir.
Yeah, so what I'm asking for is a motion to accept my testimony and evidence into record and a motion to approve or deny the ordinance.
Okay, very good. Questions, council? Thoughts? First, do we have a motion to close the public hearing related to chapter 17, article 5?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Mayor, I apologize. I want to see if anyone from the public would like to speak during the hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. All right, closed up yet? Would anybody like to comment on these motor vehicles? Twice. All right, we got a motion and a second on the table. Any discussion otherwise? Thank you, Dalton. All those in favor?
Aye.
Hearing's closed up. With that, we need a motion to accept Mr. Graham's testimony and a motion to amend chapter 17, article V. Do I have that in one motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion around that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good work, sir. Let's get to B. Next hearing. Is this another legislative hearing?
I believe we only have legislative hearings
Oh,
tonight.
yeah, we got a lot of them. All right. Motion to open the public hearing related to text amendment chapter 17, article 5, standards and supplemental use regulations.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, hearing's open.
Okay, so as I mentioned, this one is to remove a standard that was in this CB section, design standards section, that should go to the vehicle uses because vehicle related uses aren't actually allowed in CB. So it was just misplaced and originally, and it just doesn't belong there because you can't have that use in CB. So that standard doesn't really apply.
My man. Well, with that, do we have any comments from the public related to this move of stuff out of central business to motor vehicle discussion? Once, going twice. All right, do I have a motion to close the public hearing related to text amendment chapter 17, article 5, standards and supplemental use regulations?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing's closed. Do I have a motion to take Taylor Graham's testimony and to approve the amendment to chapter 17, article 5, standards and supplementary use regulations?
So moved.
Second.
discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Good to go. How many more do we have? What do we have up next? Let's see, chapter 17, article, ooh, all right. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing related to chapter 17, article 6, permits and final plat approval? Wait,
No.
no, we have scratched that one. And let me make a comment on that real quick. We had a comment earlier about reading through all these things very carefully as far as what's in our agenda. The reason why we're scratching that is because we have read through it very carefully, and we didn't like what we saw. And we said, let's think about this a little more carefully. So thank you for the time to adjust that, and I'm glad council does read through these things so that we know what we're looking at before we pop into a meeting. All right. Skipping on down. Do I have a motion to open a public hearing for, my goodness gracious, chapter 17, article, what is that?
15.
15. Good gosh. Enforcement and review.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
So this amendment is to keep the appeal process consistent between code enforcement and zoning appeals. And just to clarify, this is for code enforcement for just chapter 17, which is planning. This isn't sanitation and things of that nature. This is to keep the 30-day appeal that you would see for boards, denials, and things of that nature, and to keep that consistent with zoning appeals, and that is 30 days because it was, I believe, 10 before. So
So we're showing a little grace here.
it's just to keep everything consistently 30 days.
Yes, sir. All right. Any comments from the public related to changing that to 30 days from 10, you say?
Mm-hmm.
All right, with that, do I have a motion to close the public hearing related to text amendment chapter 17, article 15, enforcement and review?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, and then do I have a motion to accept Mr. Graham's testimony and approve the amendment to chapter 17, article 15, enforcement and review?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion to open the public hearing related to chapter 17, article 4, permissible uses.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Graham?
Yes, so this is an amendment to adjust the code to have bar uses in the CB district downtown to have the same process as microbreweries and reflect the already existing bars in this area. For some reason, upon review in the table of permitted uses, I've noticed an inconsistency with bars being restricted from the CB district, but allowing microbreweries and bars already currently existing. So it's to change this use to require a special use permit, so it's still monitored, but consistent with what we already kind of abide by.
Anybody want to speak on adjusting bars and breweries in the town of South? All right, with that, do I have a motion to close the public hearing related to chapter 17, article 4, permissible uses?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, do I have a motion to approve or adopt Mr. Graham's testimony and approve the amendment to chapter 17, article 4, permissible uses?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Almost done? No, one more. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing related to text, for text amendment, chapter 17, article 6, permits and final plat approval?
Yes, so this one is a change.
whoa,
whoa.
Oh, sorry.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Yep, all right, good stuff. All those in favor?
Aye.
Rock and roll.
You would think I'd have it by now. Town council approval of an ordinance amendment to adjust the code to fit a recent House Bill 926. This is to be compliant with this House bill that prohibits waiting periods for refiling of development applications. So I had to remove some code to be compliant with that state legislature.
And then just to clarify, that bill, a lot of discussion over a period of time in recent months considering that bill. But that bill makes it so that if we do deny some piece of a permit at a council meeting, that instead of having to wait a year, a applicant can come back and reapply with the same information. I think, again, at the rate that we are developing, I think it's a wise thing by our state. The amount of folks that are flowing in right now, the rate of speed business is happening. It's hard to tell a developer who's ready to go that you can't make a few minor adjustments that need to be made and can't come back to us for a year. So House Bill 926 makes it so that we legally have to allow folks to come back at the next earliest opportunity to reapply with adjustments and information. Now, of course, if they reapply with the exact same information, the expectation is you're going to get the same response. But if you make an adjustment, hey, we can go ahead and talk about it. So do we have any other comments related to that? Anybody from the audience want to speak on that adjustment related to House Bill? All right. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing related to Chapter 17, Article 6, permits and final plat approval?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve the testimony from Mr. Graham and approve the text amendment to Chapter 17, Article 6, permits and final plat?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. And then more stuff.
Just two more things.
Annexations are these, correct?
Mhm.
All right, so we have two annexations to look at. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing related to the annexation of 205 Merriman Drive?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Graham.
Yes, so this is town council annexation of requested parcel into city limits. The applicant is Vanessa P. Johnson of 205 Merriman Drive. And this is a 0.27 size acre parcel. As you can see in the map, that it is these two parcels that are within a encompassed annexed area. This is a catch that Dalton found while reviewing some water and sewer rates to see who's maintained in-town sewer rates but wasn't officially annexed in, and these were two of those properties, so this one and the next one. So they currently receive in-town rates, and they have been for years now, so it's to keep these, maintain the same town utility rates as they are encompassed by annexed properties.
Okay, very cool. And I believe even part of this started with some code enforcement actions as well, didn't it? Yeah. Wonder, taking a look at your town every once in a while.
So staff sees this contiguous annexation as consistent with the land use plan. I ask the council to consider to accept my testimony and evidence into record and a motion to approve or deny this annexation.
All right, would anybody like to comment on the annexation of 205 Merriman Drive? Do I have a motion to close the public hearing related to the annexation of 205 Merriman Drive?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, and do I have a motion to adopt Mr. Graham's testimony related to this annexation and approve the annexation?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. And one more. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing related to the annexation of 207 Merriman Drive?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, Mr. Graham.
So similarly, this 207 Merriman Drive by the property owner Inez de Jesus, this town council annexation of requested parcel into city limits. This is the neighboring parcel that also is looking to maintain the city rates.
All right, anybody would like to speak as part of the public hearing for the annexation of 207 Merriman Drive? Seeing none, do I have a motion to close the public hearing related to the annexation of 207 Merriman Drive?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, do I have a motion to adopt the testimony of Mr. Graham and approve the annexation of 207 Merriman Drive?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Woo! Taylor. Let me commend you, really, seriously. No, it's fantastic, and let me tell you why it's fantastic. We've had some folks in the past that wanted us to go out and spend tens of thousands of dollars to have somebody look over our UDO for us. But quite frankly, it was their job. We've had folks that took a glance at our UDO and did not cover things in detail, and quite frankly, it was their job. You're doing your job. And you have worn us out this evening, absolutely. But it's fantastic that you have, and we very much appreciate it. So keep rocking. We won't limit the amount of legislative hearings you bring to us. We'll just take it on the chin as we should. Thank you. All right. Business items. Dominant Championship Wrestling contract. Who's taking that away?
I'll tell you, Mr. Mayor. As you know, we've been in, contract with, Donald Championship Wrestling. We're going into the 4th year, and it became very popular. Our gym is full, and we love to see that. Those folks leave there, start spending money and different business. One issue that we have discussed, as far as ready to discuss with them, is the time that we actually have our part-timer to stay. So this adds one statement that says not out by 12 a.m. I feel $100 a week. Just kind of push it, hey, let's move it along. It's been pretty long. Other than that, there's no changes. Very happy with, I think there's some renumbering, of the lines, but everything's been the same. We're all pretty happy with working with these guys. Yes, sir. A lot of fun, go on.
Yeah, I've seen these, a few of these cats, James, Julie, and Frankie, lose their minds over some wrestling. Very cool. With that, do I have a motion to approve the, well, I'm sorry. Let's discuss, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
Let's
did
make
have
sure we
questions.
get questions, comments, concerns out of the way.
So Philip, what time does it start?
They usually come in about 9 a.m. in the morning, I mean, they also do a lot of setup, but, the show, as they say, doors open at 6, bell time 7 o'clock.
So, and they finish around 10,
Usually
11,
finish around 9:30-ish.
9:30?
Also, some of the matches may go a little bit longer.
It gives them 2.5 hours. You don't know exactly what the time is for them to set up, right?
Setup's a little slower, breakdown's a lot quicker.
Okay.
They bring a lot of folks, and Natalie has discussed this with them, and they were aware of it, so I think they can make it work.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
I had the same concern, that's a good question.
Any other comments before we go into a motion? All right, do I have a motion to approve the DCW 2026 contract?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Very, very cool thing happening in the town, so. Let's see, that'll bring us down to the North Carolina Department of Transportation Rail Division 5K Run Partnership. Let's talk about it.
Good evening, council. The North Carolina Department of Transportation is requesting permission to host Compto's first ever 5K fundraising event in the town of Selma. The town has a well-established 5K race route that has been successfully implemented in past events. They believe the existing route aligns well with their operational needs and will support the successful execution of their event. They just ask for staff support.
Very cool. All right, questions, comments, thoughts? You know that before, probably most likely before we get to that, we're gonna take a look at our event policy, sponsorship policy, things like that, to make sure that we cross the Ts and dot the Is related to these type of events. So I'm sure that'll fall under that umbrella if and when the time comes. We don't have any formal agreement with them yet. It's just saying, hey,
If y'all want to entertain the idea of allowing them to host it here.
okay, very good. All right. With that, council, do I have a motion to approve the NCDOT 2026 Rail Division request to host a 5K in the town of Selma?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion otherwise? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank
Cool.
y'all.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, and that brings us down to C. We've got the 2026 Carolina Thunder contract. Staff, do we have any information beyond what we have in our hands to discuss here?
Well, shorthand for you, if you will, this is hard to remember, so I kinda got the information I'm gonna share, I think. This is what it's actually. Yeah, we entered this contract back spring, early spring. Carolina Thunder has held 4 3-hour open practices. What they call, skills developments. They're posted, in the contract posted, I'll be free. They reduced that to 2, because that was a little too much for them, I guess. They've got 11 of those. They have canceled 4, 1, and they were all at the last minute, within an hour of starting, with kids waiting at the door, and nobody showed up. One time they were late. One of the big parts of the contract was a tournament that was canceled about 3 days out. Thursday before Saturday, so 2 days out. We had reserved gyms, different things, and the tournament and advertising. They held 20 practices with their team came to practice for 3 hours. 3 hours. And almost 4 hours per hour. We have seen no increase in registrations for our basketball season that just kicked off. Just stagnant numbers, which is, that's okay, but when promise was that we'll bring a big basketball program. The meat and potatoes, if they'd have done everything in the contract, rented just like you and I would have to do, that would have brought $6,000. We have spent a small it's $3,500 in part-time and summer camp. That's the information you do.
Yeah. So I'll start. Certainly, in the discussion about working with folks. We need to work with folks all day long. But I've said it many, many times, town of Selma, any municipality is a business. Business that makes partnerships with other businesses. Those partnerships need to be, on balance, symbiotic relationships. Something comes in, something goes out, but everybody wins at the end of the day. Certainly, I am not a fan of folks wanting to take from government without giving something in return to the taxpayer for their dollar. So I would say that we certainly shouldn't renew this contract in its current form, and if there's discussion to be had about how we make this a better arrangement, we have those discussions, but this isn't gonna work out, in my personal opinion.
I do believe it's not running now, and so maybe cancel.
Yes.
Correct?
Cancel.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
it'll still be going if you still be on it.
so this is a conversation about canceling this now, since it's clearly not working out. And thanks to staff for keeping track on whether or not what we're doing is working out. That's fantastic. So, anything else?
So as Mike, as Carolina Thunder looked at this agreement that we're looking at now,
Yes, sir, this is the one that was
okay,
there's no changes here, in what we just saying.
I understand. But page 191 of 199, I have a concern that the second half of the use of facilities, they got practice with no time or no date on it. So,
And I think that's the conversation is that they were given some flexibility. The flexibility hasn't worked out, so it's in our best interest to cancel the contract.
I'm with you on the council.
Yeah. With that, do I have a motion to cancel the current Carolina Thunder contract.
So move.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, moving right along. And then we have plat approval to look at. Chip, you want to take that away for pump 16 area and the water tower on the Jessup property?
Be glad to, Mayor. This is a quick review. A few months ago, council approved hiring Jerry Ball to survey a small piece of property in front of the cotton mill beside pump station 16. It's about a 0.305 acre piece. It's been there, kind of no man's land. So we were approached by Miss Rayleigh Jessup. The old water tank property that we have basically held on to is in the center of her property. She's getting some potential buyers out there. One in particular said it'd be nice to have all this unified. Why is that in the middle? So she approached us about a swap. The survey's back. We've been waiting for it. Mr. Ball ran a little bit behind, but he came through. He did it, so we've got it. We just need authority from council for the manager and I to look at the plat, make sure it's sufficient with your instructions, get it recorded, and then after we record it, probably in February, I'll bring to you the swap deeds to record. So we just need that step, Mayor, to make that happen. Be glad to answer any questions.
Questions? All right. With that, do we have a motion to approve the exploration of the plat related to pump 16 and the old water tower on the Jessup property?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Cool. All right, is that, do we actually get through all those business items? Okay. Very cool. Council members report and recommendation. We'll start. Councilman Overby, we'll swing around.
Just like to thank you for coming out and being part of our meeting and participating with us. I'll try my best to bump up that 3 minutes a little bit more for you. So I think it's pretty hard to get what you want to say sometime in, so, thank you for coming.
I'd also like to thank everyone for coming this evening and, as Mr. Overby says, to participate. We all appreciate that, and I hope everyone has a good weekend.
Thank you, Councilman.
I guess I can just sum it up with ditto.
Mayor Pro Tem Scarborough.
I'd like to say good evening to everybody also. And I'd like to start saying, though, this is a new year. We're just starting it off. And there's work to be done this year. And we don't have the time to sit around and continue to keep and miss all these missed opportunities. So we got to keep the main thing, and that is self, always self. We will be passionate about seeking opportunities to expand our tax base and improve on the standard of living for Selma citizens. Along the way, there may be hurt feelings and bruised ego, but it pales in comparison to lift the lives of the other 7,000 plus citizens in County Selma. We'll try to change the culture in this town by raising our standard. We will not compromise or lower them. We strive to make Selma the beacon on the hill, the crossroads of addition and innovation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. We do have upcoming budget retreat that'll be happening January 21st. I believe we'll actually we're starting around 4 p.m. Starting around 4 p.m. And we're actually going to do that at the Central Pines Regional Council offices in Durham. So that'll be on January 21st, 2026 for our budget retreat. That's where we go down and kind of lay all the stuff out on the table for everybody to say, these are our priorities, this is what we're looking at, these are going to be the challenges that we have this conversation, and what things might be able to stay and what things are not a high priority for this town at this point in time. And then we will have several budget meetings that will actually encompass the meat and potatoes of the conversation that is part of that budget schedule. So with that, we do have a lot coming into the town of Selma. The conversation, I heard Mr. Abel mention the fact that certainly I know I mention the free market all the time. Capitalism, socialism, or communism. We do not have a wide open free market capitalism here in the United States of America. We do have a mix. Government certainly does put its input into that free market every once in a while. Excellent point that was made that artificial markets made by governments aren't wise. I think we saw that back in an antique Mecca. It happened not too long ago. Great idea for a jump starter, but it's an artificial market created by a government who put its hands on free market ideas. It didn't work out. We do take a pretty hands-off approach to business. If 12 coffee shops do work in the town of Selma, hallelujah. If they don't, the free market's going to figure it out just the same. I would not say we encourage one or the other. The conversation about not allowing a antique shop to come into town. If an antique shop comes into town, we aren't gonna have anything to say about it just the same. Of course, with that mix of free market and a little bit of government interference just the same, we do offer incentives for very particular things. I think we've paid out 2 incentives related to downtown Selma, a hood for a restaurant, and then contribution to the significant work related to a brewery area and apartments on top. That is, for my personal opinion, about the extent that we'll go to putting our hands on the free market as a government. But with that being said, we're always willing to have conversations about what folks think might work better, what folks think might not be working. And to avoid that 3-minute limit, quite frankly, which I'm not too much against that, we can always actually schedule an actual conversation as part of this agenda. And then that 3-minute limit gets pushed to the side. We can have those conversations in this government. I think you have found we are fairly straightforward people. We're not trying to make you happy. We're not trying to make you sad. We're just going to tell you what it is. We're rolling in the town of Selma. That's what it is. It amazes me. You share out the agenda to the meetings and things like that. And, you know, you put it on Facebook, you might get 1 or 2 shares. You put a post about Olive Garden up. Boy. But it's happening in the town of Selma just the same. And the staff. Look, I don't know if you've heard, but there are other communities that aren't quite so lucky. That don't have folks that are truly looking out for their community, working for their community. That's a fact that is becoming apparent all too often today in the state of North Carolina, I'm sure all over the United States. So, staff, thank you. Folks, thank you for taking an interest, being interested, and staying involved in the town of Selma. And with that, I believe we have 1 closed session item.
Yes, sir.
Do I have a motion to go into closed session?
Second.
All those in favor? Why are we going to closed session?
Section 3 to discuss with the attorney matters of potential litigation.
We're in closed session, folks.